Hey, everybody, welcome to the MURCA Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As usual, this is just an open conversation between myself and my viewers. Feel free to ask me whatever you want to ask me. Doesn't have to be gun related. It can be about cars, wrestling, other manly man stuff. Feel free to ask me whatever you like. Let's just keep the conversation going. This is all about forming a community with camaraderie. So ask what you want. You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. You can talk amongst yourselves over in the live chat. But hopefully you'll have something to say to me or ask of me instead of just talking about me like some people choose to do. First off, I always like to start the chat by saying thank you to people that bought merchandise over on my web shop that help us support the TYMP program. I think we only had one person today. We did it with Samuel Mance. I think he bought some magnets. So thanks to him for helping support TYMP. Also, let's see, did we get any patrons today? I think we got a patron and lost a patron, but I do want to welcome the new patron. Who was the new patron? Where did it go? Oh, Eric Monfroy. I guess that's a real person. I've never heard that name in my entire life, but Monfroy. That's what Monfroy. I've heard of Eric before, but not Monfroy. And as far as Subscribe Star goes, I don't think there's been any change over there, so I don't have to welcome any new people over on Subscribe Star. Nope. W Knight 420 was the last new member over there. Remember, if you want to become a member of the channel, support the channel through Patreon, Subscribe Star, or just want to make a one-time donation, or you want to buy some of the merchandise, like this is not a Confederate flag, it's the first American flag. Learn your history. Go on over to my web store. You can get to it through tympistolproject.com. If you need a link to it, I'll put a link to it right here in the chat. There are new items over there right now. If you're interested, head on over. There's the new Popeye. There's the new Phil. There's the new True Purpose of the Second Amendment, the new Donald Trump design over there. Go on over and get yourself something. It all goes to support the TYMP program that helps provide firearms for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. We choose 4 people a month that are either elderly, on a fixed income, single mother, whatever the situation where they can't afford to defend themselves and their family by exercising their Second Amendment rights. We help them do that. We provide the tool, shall we say. So going over, be part of that. Be part of the solution. With that being said, I want to see if we got any super chats coming in here. We got one coming in from Dale Rickety. Says, I would buy a Washington State flag shirt with a Yankeeism on it ASAP. Well, what would be the Yankeeism? I don't know. I'm confused. Before we get to the super chats, I do want to share. Remember, I do share photos if people have got anything they want to share with everybody if you're here live. So I wanted to share one of the finds of one of our regulars here. Jacoby went and he found, I literally saved a 40 today. He saved a 40 from I guess it needed an owner. Never didn't have a forever home. Now it does. He got a Sig Sauer P229, which is probably my favorite Sig model, the P229. Excellent gun, excellent carry gun. And what did he say he paid for this? $550. That's a freaking awesome price for that. Price of a Glock, and you get a Sig Sauer 229, all metal gun, impeccable, double action, single action, decocker, hammer, just beautiful gun. And pretty much perfect. So we all hate him for getting that one. I didn't get a new gun. Did you all get a new gun? Did anybody else get a new gun? Because if you didn't, well, then screw Jacoby for getting a new gun. He's a cunt. I am very petty. All right, let's get over here. See if we got any questions coming in through the PayPal, which some people wonder why we use PayPal for super chats. Well, YouTube steals half the money. Well, they take half and then they steal some more because sometimes they just don't pay you for them at all. So we try to get around that by going through PayPal. And for those of you out there that are followers of Phil, remember, pay your tithe, minimum $2. If if you're coming to this here, which is basically a sermon for the house of Phil, pay your tithe. You don't sit in the church pew and not put money in that little dish, do you? Pay your tithe to Phil, minimum $2, and he promises if you do, he will not send a tornado to blow away your trailer with your baby in it, unless you do something else to piss him off. He does reserve that right. It's got that little asterisk with, like special circumstances may apply, or this is not a complete list of the problem, that kind of thing. Like YouTube loves to do that. They're like, these are the things that are verboten. And then it gives you a list of verboten things. And then it has an asterisk that says, this is not the only things. Pretty much anything else we make up to fit the circumstances is also verboten. They love to do that. All right, let's get over here to the comments. Now, I don't know why today, but Samuel Mance and Floyd Shepard both made donations just out of the blue. And it doesn't say what they donate, why they donated it, but they did. But I'm grateful as hell. But Samuel Mance and Floyd Shepard more than gave us, this channel only makes like $35 a day. So they tripled that together, whatever. I think my math's bad. I think it's more than that. So thanks to those two people. Samuel Mance also bought product. I read that a little bit ago. As far as super chats today, we got Dale Rickety chiming in here. No, wait, this is Tim Fat Salami. I thought that was Dale Rickety. It's Tim Fat Salami. Does Phil and the flying spaghetti monster get along? Well, the flying spaghetti monster ain't real. So I don't think Phil cares about our little made up deities. But that's sacrilege to even pretend that they're on the same level, because Phil is real and the flying spaghetti monster is, I don't know, it's like the Sesame Street version. Although I do think a lot of people, maybe the origins of the flying spaghetti monster legends might be because someone, caught a psychological glimpse of Phil, he's all his arms everywhere, and they may have mistaken it for a bowl of spaghetti. So I think the flying spaghetti monster is a myth based on a fact. It's how primitive man tried to describe, by primitive, I mean like in the 80s and 90s, had tried to describe Phil when they had got a mental impression of his greatness. So I think that might be what that is. So I think they might be tied together. But no, they're not. The spaghetti monster's not real. I hate to break that to you. Anybody in here that's hearing that for the first time, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. That was Tim Fasalami. Here's Dale Rickety. I knew I saw him chime in here. He said, fuck HB 1504. I agree. And I will be part of the committee testifying against it next Wednesday. I got to write my little speech over the next night or two. I'll probably wait till Tuesday night and sit down and write it, knowing me. But I got to get 2 minutes worth of, that's going to be like 250 words. Well, it depends on how much I stutter, I guess, during it. John Mandrick chimed in here and says, please explain. That wasn't work. I'm like, trying to read. Please explain why 32 mag is better than 38. What's more powerful than 38? Has better penetration than 38 special. 38 special is a very low compression round. I don't think people understand. I mean, if you look at 38 special, it's not like a weakened 357 Magnum. A lot of people think, well, it's a weakened 357 Magnum. If you look at the caliber conversion chart here, like the one I'm giving away here this weekend, if you look up here, a 357 Magnum is 2.5 9mm. A 38 special is barely over a half. It's like 3/4 of a 9mm. It's weaker than 9mm. 32 H&R is like 1 1/4 9mm power wise, performance wise. Same with 327 Federal. So therefore, you're getting more out of each round, and you get an extra round. Now, it's nowhere near a 357 Magnum, so I don't tell people to choose 6 rounds of 32 over 5 rounds of 357, because 5 rounds of 357. So if you look at the chart here and you convert 5 rounds of 357 into 9mm, the common denominator, you're going to have 12.5 rounds of 9mm the 5 357s equals 12 and a half 9mm, whereas the 327 Federal is only going to equal a little under 7 9mm, so it doesn't add up. But 38 Special, 5 of them, it makes just over 4 9mm. So when you have that common conversion, that common denominator of 9mm, makes it easy to tell why you would choose 32 HR over the 38 Special. That was Johnny Mandrick. It's got RYK in it. Rick. Paul Bidenbach paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, "Hail, Phil, what brand of security cameras do you have outside your home?" They are Blink, I do believe. And the reason I went with Blink is they had the better solar options at the time. Now, I'm sure others have caught up with them now, but at the time, Blink had a really good solar options. And I've got cameras that are in trees that are purely solar powered. I've had them up for years now, never had to replace a single battery in any of them. They've been fine for the whole time I've been up there. So, been very happy with the Blink, and I like their software, the way it notifies you. I like that. It does it right. Like you all heard it sometimes. I got it set to where it doesn't start doing notifications in the garage until 8 o'clock. So sometimes you only hear it if we do like a later chat, but it'll be like motion detected in your driveway, motion detected in the gym, motion detected in your carport, motion detected in your side yard, things like that. So I like it. I like it. And I don't think I do pay a subscription to it. I think you can. I don't know if I do because I don't think we can upload to it reliably at the time is why I didn't. I think now I might be able to. Since we got the Starlink now, although I hope we get regular fiber optics soon. We got 2 different companies that are coming up here now. So hopefully I'll be able to get rid of them ugly ass satellites in the backyard that go down a lot. Let's see here. Where were we? Who was that? Just asked that. Was that Paul Bidenbach? Yes, Paul Bidenbach. And the reason I got to say that again, so I know where I'm at over here. Jason Thompson also paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, "Sent emails. Hope you finally saw Ice-T Bootlicker's video. Love to say, put on the badge if you think you can do better." Well, I have put on the badge before, and I know I could do better, but I know they won't let you do better. Let's just say that. And to be honest, I don't want to do it. Not with the duties that they have. If it was back to policing, where you spent most of your time trying to prevent or solve crime, well, it'd be great to be a cop again. But that ain't what they do nowadays. Now they mostly maintain order, and that's a totally different thing than enforcing the law. I was watching the one about the guy getting cooked on the sidewalk. I was just watching that you sent me. William Knight. He's one of our new Subscribe Star. In fact, he was our newest Subscribe Star member, our newest starlet. He said, "Just my tithe." Well, then now you know that your trailer's not going to get blown away. Your baby is safe. Clinton Burrell also did a big donation. He got 10 entries into the silver bullet drawing just now. Why did he do that, I wonder? Do you have an opinion on the Delta Point Pro reflex sight worth $1? I actually have one. Where's that? I got one somewhere, and it is very nice, I will say. I cannot say anything bad about it. In fact, it's probably my go-to after the RMR. But if someone came to me tomorrow and says, "Are you really getting much more out of that than you get out of a Holosun?" I'd be like, "I hope so, because I paid more." But I wouldn't be able to prove it. Let's just say that. But they are very nice. I'm just not an expert on red dots. You know what I mean? There might be an aspect of, but me as a basic user who is dumb as a stump when it comes to most aspects of it, I'm very happy with the ones I bought. I'm glad I bought them. But I've also bought some Holosuns, and I'm happy with them too. And it's easier to be happy with them because they're cheaper. But are they worth it? If it's what you want, I think they're definitely worth it. But I know that's not a very definitive answer, but especially not when you paid so much money to get it. But, you know, you get what you pay for sometimes, unless you're asking me. And then you get what I can give. That's about it. And everybody knows I ain't going to give. Someone last night had the nerve to make a comment on one of my videos that you should get some talent before you do a podcast. You got to be able to actually entertain people. I was like, that is the biggest load of shit I ever heard. You don't have to have talent to do a podcast or entertain anybody. I've been doing this for years. I don't got a lick of talent. I don't think I've entertained one person. So that I'm like, well, you're obviously wrong because I'm doing it. That's like if you're standing pissing in the street and someone comes up and says, oh, you can't piss in the street. I'm like, I'm fucking pissing in the street right now. I've been doing it for years. So that was the most absurd thing I ever heard. Have talent or entertain people. Yeah, right. Kevin Payton chimed in, paid his $2 tithe to Phil, said, "Hail Phil, Washington State Tea, Idea, Washington, new member of the Communist Left Coast." That's an awful lot. I'd rather just be one word. Something like, Heil, but, can't do that because I'm mixing Russian and German. So, but I want to keep it simple. Per Gustafson also paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, I don't think Smith is currently making a gun in 327 Magnum. Is it so? I thought they did. Let me go check and see real quick. They used to, but they discontinued a lot of things recently. Well, they don't do it in 327. They do it in 32 H&R. That's the thing. So no, I don't think they make a 327. Ruger makes a 327. Ruger really hitched onto the 327. But I just saw the other day they're announcing the LCR in 32 H&R Magnum. So apparently the 327 isn't doing all that well. So I think they're trying to broaden their base a little bit. So no, I don't think Smith does it. But let's see, where are we at? Who was that? That was Per Gustafson did that there. Then Felix Sukinko, Kinkiko, Super Kinkiko. How do you say that name? It's Sukhenk. Suck Hinko. I don't know how you say that. Do you have a video showing good revolver holds? I have a double action and always seem to shift POA as I finish pulling the trigger. I do believe I do have one. I don't know about on good holds, but I have videos on how I hold. I go over the difference between, tucked thumbs, thumb over thumb, especially if it's got a double action, single action option where I want to cock a hammer. But I go over that. And I even go over like holding things like the Chiappa Rhinos properly so you don't get your fingers burnt, things like that. So I do know I have them. I just, let's see if I can find one easily. Let's see. Go to my videos, search across my channel. Proper revolver grip and teacup grip. Yeah, I actually have a video here. I will actually link it for you. I'll put it in the live chat here. Boom, boom. That's an older one. I think I've got one newer than that too. So, but there's one right there. Who was that that just asked me that? That was Felix Suck and Go. Is that her? Is it Suck and Go? That's always nice. Everybody loves a good suck and go. I'll have to say right now. Well, I guess that depends on which end of that you're on. Yeah, I linked the video there for you. All right, now let me get over here. Mikey D says, tried Papa says, couldn't add card. I live in a small city. Well, I don't know what that's got to do with your card. Local law enforcement is better armed and armored than some units in the Army. Well, yeah, because they know people in rural areas are going to be a big threat. So they got to have a good presence there. And they know those smaller agencies are usually very corrupt and more willing to do whatever they got to do to keep that money flowing. Have you I've told this story many times, and one time I told it, and actually what's his name? Tim from why am I blanking? Military Arms Channel. Tim from Military Arms Channel was on. He remembered it too, because he was in the service same time I was. As part of the intelligence, Army intelligence, they did a little survey of people. They asked, would you be likely to fire upon civilians in this situation, that situation, this situation? Well, they didn't get the answer they would like. It wasn't good enough. Not enough soldiers would just willingly fire on civilians. So they went and they took the same test to local police departments. Their eyes lit up because most of them would. So that's when they started shifting a lot of their, I really do believe that was one of the focal points for when they started shifting their focus to let's use police as our first line of defense instead of National Guard, Army, against the people. Let's see where we're at here. Jason Thompson did another $2 tithe to Phil and said, Phil and Judy Booty should hook up in a relationship. She's Rick's mascot on his show. I don't think Phil's got time to run around with some hooker. He can get whatever he wants. He can get any cephalopod he wants. He's Phil, for God's sakes. Have you ever been, this is Jacoby, have you ever been to a Christian church since your childhood? Oh God, yes, many times. When I was in college, I took religious studies. Most of the churches I went to were Christian. We went to some that were other. We went to mosques, we went to synagogues, we went to, but most of them were Christian, because we went to a lot of like the more, Southern Baptist, snake handling, Pentecostals, etc. So I've been to a lot of churches since I was a kid. What do you think is the most rugged and robust? Well, that ain't got nothing to do with that question. I thought he was setting up something. What do you think is the most rugged and robust handgun that is not a Beretta USP? Well, Smith & Wesson 686. If you're talking semi-autos, I would go with the Sig Sauer P226. Go Shadow says, talent not needed. Look at America's Got Talent. Oh, yeah. We got to have talent. Some talent get on there. I mean, there are some talented ones. I mean, some of them are just there to be a laughing stock and make the other people look more talented. But you don't got no talent to be here. I mean, this is the internet. They discourage talent. Look at some of the most successful people on the internet. They ain't got no talent. They got there mostly by doing fucking pranks on people that are the lowest common denominator humor, catering to children, all that kind of crap. So kicking people in the nuts, although I do like a good kicking in the nuts video every now and then. I don't like a good kicking in the nuts. I like a good kicking in the nuts video. I'm not a masochist. I am very, very vanilla when it comes to a lot of stuff. I don't like pain. Screw pain. I don't like that. Well, unless, of course, it's like you got like a cut in your mouth or something and you guys keep sticking your tongue on it. Ugh. Ow. I do that. Let me get back over here to the questions over here. Kevin Mabry chimed in. Everybody's being very generous tonight. He got a couple entries into the drawing. He said, for Phil. Phil needs it. He's got to pay for the pets and vets. That's what he tells me to spend the money on. YouTube did not like my Bobcat video today either. To get it to go live, I had to go change the title and all this other stuff. They were giving me all kinds of shit on it. I think they're just cracking down on any video where you show guns that are actually for sale, that someone can actually go out and buy. I think they're just cracking down on anything like that. They're just saying these are a violation, even though they're not. Let's see here. Did I read Kevin Mabry's? Oh, yeah, I did. He just said for Phil. All right. Now I think we can get over to the regular live chat. Ain't got no grandparents or parents alive. Well, I would hope not at your fucking age. If you had parents alive, that would be basically very, very surprising if you had parents alive, like you were Dale Rickety. And if you had grandparents alive, well, I think that'd be defying the rules of nature. That would be like a freak of science or something. I would assume you meant they're like alive in a jar in formaldehyde or something, but they're still somehow technically some sort of black magic is involved. Some evil science or black magic. Oh, that tasted like Funyuns when I burped. They don't taste as good the second time as they do the first time. Yeah, it's definitely black magic if you had parents or grandparents alive. Trump's first act is turning the U.S. into a police state. Keep those guns, people. Well, he ain't done nothing to the contrary. I'll say that. I would love to see him doing good things. I'd love to see him telling the IRS to lay off the middle class and stop going after poor people who sell stuff on Etsy through Cash App. Go after the billionaires and the corporations that don't pay their taxes. But of course, he's one of those, so he ain't gonna go after them. I'd love to see him doing stuff for the people, but he doesn't. When they're cutting government spending, are they cutting the billions of dollars going to Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, millions of dollars going to Bezos? Do they cut that? No, they cut funding to like children's heart cancer research, things like that. So not doing any good. And I love the people. I loved watching the governor of West Virginia the other day saying he fully supports Trump cutting off federal spending. And then one of the reporters asked him, but your budget's 50% federal grants. So how are you going to get through without that money? And he was just like a fucking dumbass deer in headlights. Like, surely he knew that already. Let me get back to the questions. The Green Tavern. I think he's talking about when I was talking about the Founding Fathers. I have that t-shirt you have on a flag. Yes, I have this design on flags. I got it on t-shirts, hats, mugs. Go buy yourself a mug. Everybody needs a new coffee mug every now and then. You want to take new mugs to work every day, every other week or so to piss off people in a different way. So go get a mug to piss them off. Go over and sport TYMP, get a mug. Mug. Not Mug root beer. I hate Mug root beer. It's awful. Barks is the best root beer by far. IBC's good. Barks is good. Mug is gross. It's the only thing I think it might be worse than Mug, which I don't even know if it is worse than Mug. It's Dad's root beer. They even still make it. That's gross. That definitely tastes like Pepto-Bismol, which is odd because I like Pepto-Bismol. When I was a kid, I used to pretend to be sick so I could get a swig of Pepto-Bismol. But I don't want my root beer to taste like it. A&W is kind of in the middle. It's good if you go to like an A&W shop and you get it out of the fountain. That's good. That's good root beer. But out of a can, it don't float my boat. Don't tickle my taint, as they say. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Says, hey, Yank, I sent you the new full cost for the RoboCop legs, including a turret with insurance info. Last time I only had the turret. Looking for the email subject, Bionic leg with firepower. Okay, let's see if I can find that over here. Because if I lose one of my legs to the diabetes, there it is right there. I want to know how much it's going to cost me to get the proper prosthetic. 46,000, 52,000. Oh, 69,000. Grand total, 169,980. Ooh, I'll have to start a GoFundMe. Are y'all going to be willing to help pay for me to have a robot leg that has the gun turret and everything built in, where the gun pops outside and I don't even want it to be like a gun pop out that you pick up and shoot like RoboCop. I want it to just pop out and then, it seeks and aims and fires. And then it back into your leg. And I don't care that it looks like a normal leg. A lot of people will say, well, I want my leg to look normal. No, I want it to be all shiny chrome and look robot. I want it to look like a Terminator leg. Because I want people to know, oh, he's got a robot leg. Don't fuck with him. So, yeah, that's awful expensive. 169,000. What would insurance cover? It won't cover the gut. Well, all the best parts is what it won't cover. Well, I'm going to keep this, though, just in case, because like I said, I got the diabetes, but I do, I like my root beer floats. More than I think I like my foot if I know I can get a robot leg. In fact, I thought I was just going to be happy with them blade feet. You know, for a while there, I thought, well, I'd like to get one of some of those and run and jump and stuff. I could be like a superhero. But then I realized, well, I'd still have my knees, and my knees ain't working that great anymore. I was laying in bed last night. I was like, why is my knee hurting? I ain't done nothing. Why is my knee hurt? So I don't know if the bladed things will work. Like that Pretorius or whatever his name is, the one that shot his girlfriend and went to prison, but then they let him out because his family's rich, you know, and then he went back and then he got, I don't know what's going on, but like that guy. Let's see here. Where are we at? How are we doing on time? We still got 5 minutes. 5 minutes if you got any questions you want to get in. I've seen a lot more of your videos listed on the YouTube homepage without searching. Well, that's good, I guess. I think maybe that my shadow ban is slipping the last couple of days. Because like I said, over the last couple of days, for some reason, you know, my average daily new subscriber of like 5 new subs a day has jumped up to hundreds a day. And my viewership went from like 15,000 views a day to like, you know, 50,000 views a day. So everything shot up over the last few days. And they've started hassling me, giving me strikes on older videos. So what I'm thinking is happening is their algorithm they use to stomp down gun channels maybe is having a glitch or it's offline right now. So they're having to manually come after us. So I'll be interested to see what happens in the next day or so once they get things back online. I bet it'll go right back to what it was like before. Where was I at? I like the new Beretta Bobcat too. It's awesome. I had 2 of the older versions. They were great. Function was great with CCI stingers, no extractor or ejector, so chamber needs to be clean. Yes, you do have to keep it clean. I enjoyed mine. I've got the Tomcat. Never had a single failure with the thing. It's been very reliable. And it's so easy to carry. I mean, here's the holster for it. Look how tiny that little holster is. It's just a baby holster. It looks like a holster for babies. It's like, look at that in my hand. And I don't got big hands. I wear a large glove, like an average hand, because I wear large. Which is not big. You might think, oh, large, that's a big hand. Well, I'm also a little over 6 foot and 220 pounds. So unless you believe the internet, I'm 5'5" and I weigh 280. We're 5'3" and weigh 280. Are you going to make the Washington State with the hammer and sickle into a t-shirt? I said, I think about it. Yeah. The poll on what gun to get, I chose option 6, 605 Toro. Well, that's not a good carry gun for deep concealment. 5-shot stainless 357 Magnum with interchangeable front sight. Well, yeah, it's a good gun, but it's not good for deep concealment. It's heavier and bigger. My nose itches too. There wouldn't be any point in the Toro because I wouldn't be putting a red dot on a deep conceal gun. I mean, what if I have to shove this up my butthole somewhere? Like, what if I, I'm like, oh, cheese at the cops. I got to hide this and I got to put it somewhere inconspicuous. I don't want that red dot on there. I'm going to have to abandon the red dot. You've got no consideration for my anus. What's the chart look like? You've seen the chart. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. I don't see any pictures of it. Let me see. I know I've got to have the original artwork somewhere. Maybe I don't. Is that one it? That's an earlier version of it. There's a version of it. It's just slightly different than this, not much different. But I printed this up in, what is that, like 18 by 20 something size so they could be framed. But this is the actual design right here. That's the one I'm giving away. Right there. See, it tells you like a 380 ACP, because you got to have a common denominator if you want to rank rounds against each other. So I took 9mm as the common denominator, And then I put like what each of these rounds, like a 357 SIG is like 1.79 millimeter, 45 ACP is 1.39 millimeters, 10 millimeters, 2.25. 357 mag is 2.5. A 44 mag is 4.9 millimeters. Big jump there. 38 special is only 0.759 millimeters. So that's why I'm saying once you have this conversion, well, then you can convert however many rounds of 357 Magnum into how many 9 millimeters it equals. You can do the same thing with like 38 special into how many 9 millimeters it equals and see which one is more worth it to you. Makes it simple. Don't know why someone didn't think of that before. All right. I think we are all caught up here and we are out of time. So first, let me make sure I am caught up on all the super chats over here. Kevin Mabry was the last one, I do believe. Yes, Kevin Mabry was the last one. And Hooked on Phonics was the last one over here. So we are done. Sorry, we didn't get very far into the live chats today, but well, these ones are live too, but just the regular live chat. People were being generous today for some reason. I think they're feeling sorry for me going bankrupt over the Pets and Vets program. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for everybody who helped support the channel in whatever way you help support, even if it's just watching the videos. Maybe thumb them up. Give my videos a thumb up. If you haven't watched a video of mine lately, go through and watch them. Thumb them up. Do it. I'm not asking. It's an order. Phil told me to tell you. Phil told me to tell you, I'll go watch at least 5 of my videos and thumb them up. I don't know why he wants you to do that, but he wants you to do it. So, who am I to question his orders? I just relay them. If they benefit me, just a happy coincidence. But like I said, thanks to everybody for showing up, participating in the conversation, keeping things rolling. Makes it easy when I don't got to think of stuff to say. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Like I said, no matter how you do it, especially those of you that support it financially. So thanks. You're all the ones that keep the channel going. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.